ITR production.
We ITR'VANLIFE. Hey, 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 hey. We ITR'VANLIFE. Hey, 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 hey. We ITR'VANLIFE. Hey, 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 hey. We ITR'VANLIFE. Throw that rainbow arch. We ITR'VANLIFE. Hey, 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 hey. We ITR'VANLIFE. Hey, 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 hey. ITR'VANLIFE from production to the road. No matter where we go, we always let them know. Yeah. Into the Rainbow is the company that glows. Is the company that shows. Is the company that grows. From east to west. Yeah. From north to south. Okay. No matter where we go, it be the best route. On that rainbow arch every time we out. Just to let you know what we all about. Throw that rainbow arch. We ITR'VANLIFE. Throw that rainbow arch. We ITR'VANLIFE. Throw that rainbow arch. We ITR'VANLIFE. Hey, hey. VANLIFE, stand up. We ITR'VANLIFE. Throw that rainbow arch. We ITR'VANLIFE. Throw that rainbow arch. We ITR'VANLIFE. Throw that rainbow.
Alright guys, it's a DIY back AC unit project removal. First thing you need to do is make sure you can locate all the screws and see where they're at and how hard it's going to be to get them out. There is one that is difficult to get to, so make sure you have an extension. You will need a 9/16 or whatever size socket your screw is, but mine was a 9/16, so it was a lot easier to locate. And let's see. Okay, I'm trying to put everything together to get to it. The fronts are easy to get to, but that back one, like I said, you're going to need an extension to be able to get to it. And I'm unscrewing. I'm using my socket to get it out. And you see words is showing you, I wrote on here so you can see that, you know, what you need to do. Okay, now I'm taking the 4 screws. There's 2 in the front and some in the back. I think it's like 4. Yeah, it's 4. And there's also clamps that's holding this top down to be able to get to the actual unit on the inside, which is protected with this casing. Make sure you find all the clamps and everything else to get it off, and make sure you unplug the wires so it makes it easier. So once everything gets ready to get cut, you can get it cut off. But yeah, it was pretty much easy once I got going. This is my very first time ever doing this, so hey, it's a great learning experience for me. So the next time if I get another van or whatever, I know how to fix this thing. So, oh, my nails, yay. But as you can see, I told you it's a lot of screws. So you just got to make sure you find them all to be able to get everything off. But yeah. And I'm screwing. I'm trying to get it unscrewed. It's annoying. I was tired that day. I think I worked the night before, I'm not for sure. And see, there's still a piece of rug and everything else, so I was trying to eventually got that off too. So it was kind of wet. I don't know if it was from the back AC unit or what, but it was a little wet. But I was steadily screwing, getting it out. So now here it is with me with the extension. Like I said, you're going to need an extension for the very back screw because it is very difficult to get to, even if you got small hands like me. I couldn't even get to the extension without an extension. You might see me getting quiet a little bit, but that's because I'm pausing in between so everybody can do that. Also, make sure you have a bucket on hand because as you see, my friend mechanic, he's sitting here cutting the hoses and everything, but he has a clamp wrench. I think that's what it's called. I'm not for sure. but he's got it clamped so the liquid wouldn't leak out, but he's also trying to cut the hose off from the AC unit as we done got it out of there. But you have to have a razor blade to be able to cut the hose off. But you need a bucket. See how it's dripping? You need that bucket to catch that fluid before you take the hoses completely off, because it will come out. Like really, really come out. And then you gotta empty the radiator right there once you get everything off. That's my good friend Glenn. Hey Glenn. Thank you so much for being a big supporter on our van life to help us do everything. He also helped me put in the max fans. He's the one that did the cutting. So yeah, I am very grateful to have this kind of friend. He works on our vehicles and everything else. He's a good mechanic. He does everything. This man don't never stop. But there are clamps that you're going to have to try to get off, as you can see right here. There are 5 hoses total. Remember that. 5 hoses that you would have to look for right up under where that hole is. You will see all the hoses right there. There's 2 that hose the radiator fluid, because one goes in one hose and goes out the other hose back up to the motor. But they both go to the motor either way it goes. Then you have the AC unit that has the 2 hoses that carries the Freon from the front to the back. And then you have the hose that holds the wires, which controls the back AC unit, which we located all that stuff and cut it off, and now we don't have to worry about it anymore. But make sure you have that bucket on hand to catch the antifreeze. For real. For real, for real. And then when you get done, you clean it, and you clean the antifreeze with a shirt to get all the dirt and grime that might come along through the pipes, through the hoses. And then you can just put the antifreeze back into your motor once you get everything clamped off. Okay, everybody, now you see that hole right there? That's what we had to squeeze those 5 hoses through, and as you can see, there's still one up there left. That's the AC unit. So he's pulling it, as you can see. So now he's up under the front to get to the radiator hoses so we can block them off. So we can cut the excess hoses off. Thanks, Mixed Talent, for helping us record. You're the best bestie I have. So yeah, it's a little difficult to get under, but we did locate him. He did take the cover off of the motor so we can locate from the top as well and pull on it so he can realize which hose is what hose, which came in a little bit more handy for us because now he's up underneath and I'm on top trying to look for the hose, and when he moves it, then I locate it, and then we can go from there. See it as it's moving. That's him pulling on it so we can locate it. And he's steadily finna figure out so we can get this clamped off. I zoomed in so you can see better. So yeah, you see that little area right there? Yeah, that's where the hoses are. So he has to clamp off the back hoses so we don't have no antifreeze spilling out of our engine. But yeah, just make sure that you get the blockage for your hoses to block off everything. So once you get that done, then you're good to go. And I'm, grateful for this guy to be in my life. He's a good friend. So here's at the top of the motor. You can see him at the bottom, barely, but you can see him. And we're sitting here, and this is the inside of the hub, as we would call it, but you know, I forgot what it was called. That's him under the dash, finding the wires that goes to the back AC so he can block them off, which is cut them and put the screw things on them to where we don't have to use it. It goes to the switch. So he found those, so that's what he's doing on that side. Then once again we go back, he goes back up under, and that's him putting the hose back through so I can get it, so he can get where it's supposed to be. So yeah, it's a little dangerous, but you know, hey, it is what it is. Try not to get no antifreeze on you. Yeah, it was a little difficult, but we got it together at the end of the day. So, and you'll see me in a minute holding the hoses to get it going. Hold that thought. Okay, as you can see, I'm holding one of the hoses and I'm pulling on the other one so he can locate it so we can get it cut and everything else. And then when we got done with the hoses, the AC hoses, I took them and I bent them in half and emptied them into a bucket so I can get all the antifreeze out of the hoses and everything else as well, which was fun and interesting. It was hot that day too, but we did it. And that's him on the other side, cutting the hose. And you'll see him in a minute where you actually see him cutting the hose and me holding one while he's cutting it. And there it is, the last hose. And I'm sitting here holding it together to make sure no antifreeze leaks out until I pour it in the bucket. But that was easy, you know, we got that done. We got the max spins done that day, so all in one day we did 2 jobs. But yeah, it was cool. And then you'll see me in a minute. I'm going to go to the back where I'm covering it up, that hole. And now you see me cutting a piece of sign, the little plastic stuff to help out. For right now, I'm cutting it in a circular shape so it'll fit that hole right there. It was kind of cool because there wasn't no rust really around it, but as you can see in the little corners of where I got that piece of the carpet off, there's a little bit of rust, so I might redo it over and just treat that area because that's where our batteries are going to sit when we put our solar panels up, which a video will be coming shortly for that as well. Trying to get everything done before we pull out. See, I'm making sure that it's big enough, but as you can see, it's a little too big, so I had to cut it down some more. And I used 3 of the screws that was already right there. I just reused them to screw that down. And then I put some RV tape, which is very, very sticky, over it to try to protect it a little bit. I also put some silicone on top of the screws So yeah, this is towards the end of the video, and I hope you enjoy it. Hope you get some learning out of it. It was pretty easy to do once we got started. So if you have any questions or comments, please drop them below, and we'll try to get to a Q&A, which is a Q&A video, which is question and answers video, hopefully soon. So have a good day. Enjoy the rest of the video. It's your girl Sweets with Into the Rainbow. So arch up. Have a good night.